today's message. Let's get started. All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So today's theme, it's an interesting twist. I realized that I had just recorded the video thinking that this was the live stream, but it turns out that I had turned off the live stream feature yesterday. And after we recorded version 1, I realized that okay, I've actually not done the live stream. So here I am doing the live stream again. This is perfectly timed because today's theme is everything to do with momentum, or rather the lack of it. And more importantly, it is about, if you are someone who feels like you're feeling overwhelmed, you're getting overwhelmed with what you're doing, especially as a healer and a coach, I want you to know that it's very normal to have this experience. And over the last 3 years, this is something that I have experienced many, many times. But the one thing that made all the difference for me to be able to get me out of that overwhelm was the tiny habits. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. But before that, I want to also remind you that, if right now you're at a point where you feel you're, hitting a wall and you're getting overwhelmed, there are two things to keep in mind. We feel a sense of overwhelm. One, maybe because the task is way too complex and it's sort of beyond our current skill level. The other, of course, is that maybe we've chosen a goal that seemed good on paper, maybe when you were visualizing it or thinking about it, but in reality, when you want to get to it, it feels like it's too much because the goal is much bigger than you. And of course, there is a third reason, and this is what we think is overwhelm, but it's actually underwhelm. By that I mean that the task that we want to get done is so simple and it's become so routine that somehow we don't want to get it done because we just know there's no energy, there's no challenge in getting it done. So if you are somebody who has studied flow and the art and the science of flow, this is something to keep in mind. That think about the task that you're creating, and maybe it's time to mix things up. Because when you suddenly introduce a little bit of novelty, a little bit of difference, you will feel that pop again in your step and your stride, and of course you'll find yourself getting back into the swing of things. So as always, like I said, these pods are created for you just to remind you that you as a healer, you as a coach, you're not alone, and that I'm here to support you every step of the way. One last thing, of course, as you're listening to this live podcast, live broadcast, do share this with one healer or coach, someone in your network, someone who you know, who maybe is right now feeling stuck, maybe is right now feeling overwhelmed. Because sometimes listening to these same thoughts that maybe you also try to tell them, to convince them, but sometimes listening to it from a unknown source can make all the difference. So wishing you, of course, all the very best on your journey, and you know really looking forward to seeing you in our community. But until then, of course, remember to live your purpose. God bless, and of course I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.